Today on the Gold Domers Report, we take a look at the college football playoff selections and the bowl game selections as well. Did the committee get it right?
By Samauza, inside the 20, inside the 10, he's going in! Notre Dame has scored!
Go! You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal.
Notre Dame is relevant again.
The 20, the 10, 5-5 rocket touchdown.
Notre Dame is number one.
It's a game of who's going to flinch first, and we know that isn't going to be Notre Dame.
Welcome in, everybody. I'm Landon Traylor, joined by the one and only JFK's finest, John Richards, Summit City Elites, Logan Traylor, and Wiz's own Dylan Kearns coming back from the Wiz party. Dylan, I got to ask before we get into it, tough loss last night for the Jags. You feeling all right, or you falling off the wagon a little bit?
I am falling off the wagon harder than Lizzo falls on. I don't even want to go there, but I'm just saying that I really wanted to just lose. You lost the game. At that point, I really just wanted to play Madden, have some fun, enjoy pounding people online. It didn't go well. I threw 6 picks with my quarterback that almost broke his ankle. So I'm like, okay, here we go. So yeah, very, very bad night. Lots of things that I shouldn't have had last night that I ended up consuming. But, I wake up. It's a great day. We're talking Notre Dame football. And I will say something, Landon. I think you're learning something at the Ball State Sports Link. That's a nice little tease you started the show with.
Yeah. So, moving along here, we'll talk Notre Dame football first, and we'll also obviously get into the bowl games, the college football playoff. But some Notre Dame news that I thought we'd start off the show with today, guys. We're making some moves. It's been one of the most active not even off season. It's been one of the most active endings to the season that I can remember. So Will Shepherd, the Vanderbilt wide receiver, is transferring. He has not announced officially to Notre Dame, I don't think. Notre Dame also hires Mike Brown, Wisconsin's wide receiver coach. So Marcus Freeman makes a hire to replace Stuckey. Logan, we thought it'd be maybe a home run hire. What do you think about this one?
I think it has the opportunity to be really, really good. People either feel really bad about it or really good about it. There's no in between, as it feels like every situation we've dealt with this year, there's no in between. It's the Freeman guy, which is good. As a young coach, you want someone that you can trust. And especially with the group that has struggled the most, some things, obviously, we talked about speculating about what happened, with Chancey and everything that had occurred up to this point to result in him being let go. It just sounds like Freeman needed a guy, most important, that he could trust. And secondly, that he could develop the young guys and get that room going. Obviously, I think that room needs a lot of work, as we all know, and it's important to make sure that the guy leading that room does a good job and develops the correct way, both on and off the field, with relationships and with obviously being able to produce on the field. It's crucial. So I think the wide receiver room got better. It's going to get better. Like I said, Thursday or Friday, I forget what day we did the emergency show. I'm excited to see where we end up here. I think Freeman and Parker are doing a really good job of not only checking in with current recruits, current commits, but really doing a good job of figuring out what they need and filling that gap of everything that we lost. So I am okay with it. He did a hell of a job at Cincinnati after reading some articles about him, seeing some of the guys that he produced that are playing in the league. Wisconsin, you kind of have a sample size of what he did. Not as good as he did in Cincinnati, but still really solid in my opinion. So I'm excited for the hire. Really looking forward to see how this room ends up.
Mm-hmm. So Notre Dame also announces that safety transfer from Arizona State, Jordan Clark. I believe he made that official that he is committed to the University of Notre Dame and will be playing football next year for the Irish. A big time transfer for Notre Dame. Also, Riley Leonard is visiting Notre Dame today and tomorrow, which is December 5th and 6th. And then also Florida International wide receiver Chris Mitchell, and then wide receiver from Clemson, Bo Collins, also announces that he will be transferring to the University of Notre Dame. So a lot is, or unofficially, obviously, but he will be visiting the University of Notre Dame. But a lot of people have what's the word they use now? Crystal ball
prediction.
Yeah, crystal ball prediction that those guys that I just mentioned will land. So JR, a lot of moves being made here, and we still got a bowl game to be played, but I gotta say, I'm actually very impressed with what head coach Marcus Freeman has done thus far. He's making moves, and I didn't think he would.
Well, you can't stay stagnant. He knows that at bare minimum. And, like Logan said, it's all about chemistry and cohesion, not just in the football room, but on the staff. And if Freeman had a trust issue or whatever kind of issue with Stuckey and some of the other guys that were in that room, then so be it. And kudos to him for pulling the trigger, and we'll see if it works. But, that's to be determined. And there's still some other issues. Parker's there still. Freeman believes he's part of the solution. That's another thing that still is to be determined. But like his Freeman says himself, challenge everything, and he's continuing to do that. He's self-evaluating, he's self-scouting, he's taking a deep dive into his own staff, and he's just a second-year coach, and he's got to get the right guys in there, and he's found Al Golden. He's can rely on him. He feels like he can rely on Parker. We don't know exactly what happened with Stuckey. There's quite a bit of rumor and innuendo out there. But again, if you're not part of the solution and you are part of the problem, sayonara, bitches.
Wow.
Good morning. So Dylan, we'll move to you.
Adios and smell ya later.
Right, smell you later. Or should I say Yukon Cornelius down there from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with that beard. Go ahead. What do you think about the moves that Marcus Freeman of the Irish have been making as of late, which is just this week, and it's only Tuesday?
I said on Friday that this is a very, very important offseason, maybe one of the biggest in the last decade in terms of the trajectory of Notre Dame football. Losing the AD, weak schedule, a coach that has a roster that needs work. And if you can't work that roster, there's going to be problems. So I like that Marcus Freeman is taking initiative. He's bringing guys in, showing them the campus, showing them that stuff. They don't really care about that, but they just want to be in a spot where they can succeed in their careers and all that stuff. So I know we'll get into it with the college football landscape of everything that took place, but a lot of names in the portal. I think Notre Dame should take a look at a lot of them. I like that they're bringing in or thinking about receivers. They need a lot of those as well, people that can catch the football, something that we don't do well. But I like starting with the coach. He's one of the top assistants at Wisconsin. He did a fantastic job there. And I really like the hire of Mike Brown. I think he's going to do a great job. And, I think the Irish are on the right track right now, but long offseason ahead.
Absolute long off season. We still got Xavier Watts to worry about. I really worry if he's going to declare for the NFL draft. Obviously, Marcus Freeman said in his press conference yesterday over Zoom that he's going to let the players announce that if they're playing or not for the bowl game. And then he was asked again, what about Sam Hartman? And he said, as I said, I'm going to let the players announce their decision to play in the bowl game or not. So I expect some decisions to be made this week so we can move along and start practicing and preparing for Oregon State because that's a football team that we need to prepare for. But we'll get into that next Tuesday in our preview show. So with that being said, next segment, moving on here, the college football playoff has been set. Number 1, Michigan will play number 4, Alabama in the Rose Bowl. and number 2 Washington will play number 3 Texas in the Sugar Bowl. The first 2 out. Number 6 Georgia lost to Alabama by 10 points in the SEC championship game. Number 5 Florida State, 13-0, went undefeated in the regular season and won the ACC, a Power 5 conference. What did the committee, Logan, I'll ask you this. I'll start with Logan here. The debate, Alabama and Florida State. Who did they get it right here?
My opinion, yes. In all the controversy, it's the 4 best teams. And is Florida State a top 4 team with Jordan Travis? Yes. Are they a top 4 team without him? In my opinion, no. And I get their frustration, because if it was Notre Dame in that same boat, I would be pissed. But, I think when it comes down to it and you look at what Alabama did last Saturday, beat the back-to-back national championships. They won 29 games in a row, and they beat Georgia. And I think that speaks for itself. And, this Alabama team has really improved from when they, lost in Tuscaloosa to Texas. From that point on, they have been a lot better. So I do think they're a top 4 team. I would say, I was shocked that Georgia got left out, being the fact that they have six ranked wins or back-to-back national championships. Or national champions. I would be, a little frustrated if I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan as well, but obviously they could have controlled their destiny a little bit more than Florida State, which, they're 13-0. But, I think I could see both sides of it. In my opinion, though, the committee got it right. It'll be exciting to watch, these 4 teams really go at it. I think Alabama can make a run. I really like Texas right now, and obviously Washington looked really good. So it'll be a really good, couple games that we'll get to see. It'll be interesting to see who pulls it out.
JR, did they get it right? And if not, what did they get wrong?
I think they partially got it right, but if you want to be brutally honest, Georgia belongs in there.
Why?
Because they're one of the best 4 teams, I believe. Simple as that. They lost to Alabama, but I think that I could make the argument that they are 1 and 2.
Okay.
Now,
I agree.
Georgia doesn't match the criteria that they, put out to justify, what that room came up with. But they kind of contradicted their own logic. Because I could still make the argument that the 4 best teams are not in there. I could say maybe 3 of the 4 are in there. And, it's semantics and it's certainly subjective. And you guys saw mine in the chat. I would have had Washington 1. I think Washington has been the most impressive team all year long. I think they have a tremendous quarterback. I think they have a tremendous coach. I think they can put up a lot of points. They beat you down the field vertically. They can run the ball. And they've conquered a lot of hurdles cleanly. And they still have their quarterback. Let's be honest. If this was Penix that was hurt, do we think Washington would have gotten in?
No shot.
I don't think Washington would have been undefeated.
Probably not. And that is one of the things on their criteria. But I'm okay with it. I mean, 2 teams from the SEC in there, that would have made people really inflammatory in the other sections of the country that's not the Southeast.
Right. It was a lose-lose situation for the committee, I think.
No doubt. We don't have to worry about it next year. Next year they can argue over 12 and 13. And let's extrapolate this a little bit. Notre Dame's at 15, you guys. We wouldn't be in. I'm not happy about that.
16
not at all.
even. 16 even. But that's true. We would have not made it.
Not happy about it. So I'm looking at this from a Notre Dame perspective this year. Not happy, not content, Glad Coach Freeman's taking some initiative and making some tough decisions and bringing in people he feels will make his staff and our team better. But I would have had Washington 1, Michigan 2, Texas 3, and Bama 4. That would have been my 4.
So I disagree there, but I'll get to that in a minute. Dylan, I know this is a little vanilla, but did they get it right? And if they didn't, what did they get wrong?
I don't think it's vanilla. I think it's chocolate. But okay. I think they got it right. And I had this debate yesterday. I went toe to toe with our other sports guy. We just really went into it. The whole Florida State debacle. We know they're not a top team. It's simple. They had an undefeated season. We understand that, but you have to look at it as a whole. This was one of the first years that I think in a very long time that you can truly sit back and say, wow, everyone was good in college football. Like there were at least 6, 7 teams that you could really think that could be in that game, that could be in the playoff. But I see they put 4 really good football teams in the playoff, which is what you want. Now, I'll give 2 takes on the Florida State side. One, if you're a Florida State fan and you truly think you belong, are you willing to bet $500 your team wins? Probably not, because they're going to get waxed. That's why they're 14-point dogs against Georgia. Number 2, you can't put Florida State at 4 against a Michigan team, because then it's a cakewalk for the Wolverines to get to the national title game, in which that would have even raised more questions, because now you're sitting at a team with a scandal that had a cakewalk to get to the championship.
Okay. All right. I could see that. Now, here, I feel for Florida State. I really do. I feel for Coach Norvell. I like him a lot. I feel for those kids. They busted their tails all season long. They went undefeated. They did everything asked of them. And unfortunately, their quarterback and their backup quarterback got hurt. It's out of their control. But unfortunately, it's the 4 best teams. It always has been the 4 best teams, not the 4 most deserving teams. It's always been the 4 best teams. I think the committee did get it right. I think from 1 through 4, the committee got it right. I think Michigan is the best team in the country. The way they have dominated their competition, the way they have played all season long, I think Michigan is the best team in college football. And I think they're the best team in. They have a tough challenge coming up against, obviously, the best coach to ever coach, Nick Saban, believe it or not, one of his worst teams that made the college football playoff. So just credits to Coach Saban there. Number 2, Washington. I had Washington at number 2. Look, 13-0 Pac-12 champions. They beat the same team twice. It's hard to beat a team twice. Just ask us. We played Clemson twice in 1 year. We saw how that worked in the ACC championship. Number 3, Texas. I like Sark a lot. I like Sark. And then number 4, obviously, Alabama. I love Saban. I can't even begin to speak about Saban. So for
a big love fest over there at Testicle Tech this week. Must have been getting lucky. Big love fest over there. Love Sark. Love Saban, love Norvell. Screw all of them. Screw Florida State. They stole our national championship in '93. Get out of here.
Mike Norvell wasn't
pass interference that wasn't called that
Get
year.
out of here.
Mike Norvell wasn't even around then.
I don't care. The school was.
Yeah.
You. Call the ambulance.
I literally said they got it right. Don't come at me. I literally said the committee got it right. I'm just saying.
I'm not coming at you. I'm coming at Florida State fan. Wah.
Yeah.
We didn't get in. Wah.
Right. I could see that. But look, Coach Norvell did a fantastic job turning that program around. They were in shambles, if you remember. The Willie Taggart era. They were in absolute shambles. And
good for them. This is GDR, baby.
But anyway, I think the committee did get it right. The New Year's 6 Bowls, moving along here. In the Cotton Bowl, number 9, Missouri, and number 7, Zero State. That's going to be an entertaining one. And back to the college football playoff for 1 second. For the first time in a very long time, I feel the committee got it right. And I feel like going into the playoff, it's going to be very entertaining. We've seen a lot of lopsided affairs in this college football playoff era with the 4 teams. we are going to have a very competitive and a very entertaining college football playoff. And I got to say, I'm very excited. I think we're going to have a shootout in the Washington-Texas game, and I think we're going to have a defensive in the trenches, just an all-out battle in Michigan, Alabama. Moving on, Peach Bowl, number 11 Ole Miss and number 10 Penn State. Eesh, I think Ole Miss is going to beat the brakes off of that limping, terrible Penn State team. And in the Orange Bowl, it's number 6 Georgia and number 5 Florida State. As Dylan mentioned, Florida State opens the game as 14-point underdogs with their third-string quarterback. Yikes. And in the Fiesta Bowl, number 23 Liberty and number 8 Oregon. That could get ugly in a jiffy, but hey, I'd love to see Liberty upset Oregon. That'd be pretty cool. But the New Year's Six Bowl, obviously, we had our shot to make a New Year's Six Bowl. We could be in any one of these bowls. I would love to see us rematch against Ohio State, honestly, in that bowl game. I know they would never do it, but, Logan, takeaways on the New Year's Six Bowls.
I don't think we can call Penn State terrible when we're in the frickin' Sun Bowl, but that's neither here nor there.
What have they done? What have they done?
What has Notre Dame done? I guess we can't really compare apples to apples here.
Well, yeah, we sold out in the day. No, Bama and Michigan, they haven't sold out.
In the Alamo Bowl.
New Year's Six versus Sun Bowl.
Okay, but I agree. Obviously, I am pissed about our bowl game. I'll say it. I think it's a joke. It's a fail. It's a flop. Notre Dame and the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Who gives a rat's ass?
Don't lose to Louisville. You don't have the problem if that's the case.
That's not true. If we lose to Louisville, we're still in the New Year's Six Bowl. It's Clemson that kept us out of the New Year's Six Bowl, in my opinion. You go 10-2 with the schedule we played. New Year's Six is likely.
You guys are 0-2 on the road. You gotta stop going to road games.
Yeah. So in the Alamo Bowl,
I like it.
So in the Alamo Bowl, we have number 14. He's just jealous we could afford the tickets to go. Number 14 Arizona and number 12 Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl. This is gonna get dicey. I like this game. Pac-12, Big 12. It's gonna be a shootout.
What about the New Year's Six game?
What do you mean? There's nothing more to be said. I just listed them. There's nothing more to be said. I mean, who cares?
You didn't get the chance to talk about it other than you.
Who cares? I mean, I like JR's take on everything. College football playoffs or IDGAF. He said that the other Saturday.
This is where the 12-team playoff makes it pretty exciting. Not only will we get to see some more rivalry games if, Bama, Georgia keep winning, Ohio State, Michigan keep winning, Notre Dame, Michigan could see those potential matchups. But these New Year's Six Bowls mean something next year. You won't see guys opt out. You won't see, the transfer portal, in my opinion, will be less hectic next year at this point than it has been this year. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm excited for. Obviously, Ohio State's a complete dumpster fire, if you will, right now as they're cleaning house, going through it like Notre Dame did last week. But very, that's something to think about. I'm very excited about that next year as these games matter. So
they do next year. This year, I don't care. I really don't. I'm sorry. I don't care. JR?
How do the tie-ins work next year? Not to get ahead of ourselves, but
so what it is the first 4 teams, they get a bye. 5 through 6 play in first rounds. Notre Dame can never have a bye in the college football playoff.
I mean, so which bowl games now represent the stages of the playoffs?
So the New Year's Six Bowls will be in the second rounds. They will be in the second rounds. The first round is home games for the teams that don't receive a bye. But it's still the New Year's Six, and then they have to add, obviously, 2 more because that's 8 teams. So the 6, it is 6. So the 6 bowl games, the New Year's 6, all those games.
Those are the first round games.
Second round games.
And then the 4 granddaddies are the semifinal and the final.
Mm-hmm.
Who gets the final? Does it rotate?
I'm assuming it's going to rotate to a big time NFL, Vegas probably, and
okay. So we can't ever host a home game, correct?
No, we can in the first round.
In the first round, okay, but
we
better figure how we're going to prepare and travel and play these road games because that's been a big problem all year long.
Right, absolutely.
You were going to ask me a question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say in the first round, Notre Dame could very well host. We just can never receive that first round bye because that goes to the highest ranked conference champions. The second round would be played at neutral sites in the Cotton Bowl, Peach Bowl, Orange Bowl, Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Sugar Bowl. And then the third rounds, I don't even know what they'll be playing. Nonetheless, JR, Ohio, what's going on there? What's the word around Ohio town there?
Everybody's salty. I think everyone's kind of turning on Day. They don't like that McCord, even though he probably is not the answer, they are in agreement there. They don't like the way he was kind of used as the scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
Things are very unsettling. People are salty. They're upset that they lost to Michigan again. Not only Michigan, an interim head coach Michigan for the 3rd time in a row. They don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. They're losing probably their top 2 wide receivers. Rumor has it he's lost the locker room. So and they're 11-1. So
it'll
be interesting next year. A lot of these, what we perceive to be, mountain moving, the landscape is burning, the house is on fire. Maybe there's some patience next year with some of these teams and these like Logan said, you can't be leaving the portal if you're in the playoffs next year. I mean, I guess you can, or you could sit out, you could pull a Caleb Williams and sit out, but that's going to be an interesting thing next year. But the natives are restless. But you heard it, Bob, before we started recording. You were listening to the local ESPN 850, the great Tony Rizzo, and he was not happy. So, but again, this is GDR. This ain't Zero State.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm going to yield the rest of my time to the esteemed panel here. I'm done.
Can I give a take on Zero?
Of course.
This is a tryout. I know they're going to bring someone in to play quarterback. This is a tryout for whoever starts the game, whether it's Devin Brown, Lincoln Keenholz. They obviously lost their entire room. Maybe Ibuka comes back. I don't know if he plays in the bowl game. Maybe he will. But Marv ain't playing. Julian's transferring. Cade Stover's probably sitting out as well. Travion Henderson is sitting out. There's going to be, that's a different team playing in that bowl game. But it's a tryout for the quarterback. Whether Devin Brown goes out there and shows that he's athletic, a dual threat, and he could put his name in the portal if he wants. Mm-hmm. But it's a one game, show what you got kind of game, and maybe another name comes out of that.
Mm-hmm. Could very well, Dylan. Good take there. So
the other, if I can, just real quick, the other thing that they're saying locally, that this is really Ryan Day's first failed project, as somebody who's kind of like the NFL guru quarterback. People are now thinking that if you want to go to the NFL, go ahead. There's a lot of trepidation that recruits are hesitant because people are still sniffing around the NFL. But McCord is really his first failed project.
Mm-hmm. The eye bags are getting deeper.
Hey, he's a tough guy. He's a real tough guy. We got to remember that. Ryan Day's tough. He's really tough.
Fugazi. We told you that.
Yeah, Fugazi. Very Fugazi. Looking along here. The LA Bowl, UCLA, Boise State. Very well, that could be a good one. The LA Bowl. That's not it's not Jimmy Kimmel anymore in that bowl game. Looking along here, the Birmingham Bowl. Troy draws Duke in the Birmingham Bowl. Duke most likely not going to win. They're being gutted. They lost their coach. They lost their quarterback. So Troy looks like they're going to be winning the Birmingham Bowl. The Armed Forces Bowl. James Madison and Air Force. Air Force lost 4 straight games to close out the regular season. James Madison got their bowl bid. I'm very happy. Very happy. They lost their coach, though, Signetti, to Indiana University. And I'm very, very happy with that hire for the Hoosiers. But James Madison Air Force ought to be a good one. Looking along here, the Las Vegas Bowl, Utah versus Northwestern. Game might end 0-3. Final score. Looking along, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Kansas versus UNLV. That could get dicey. Big 12. UNLV had a decent season. The Military Bowl, Virginia Tech and Tulane. The Duke's Mayo Bowl, Mac Brown and North Carolina and West Virginia. Holiday Bowl, number 15, Louisville and USC. A chance for Lincoln Riley to head into 2024 on a good note against the Cards. In the Texas Bowl, Texas A&M and number 20, Oklahoma State. The Fenway Bowl, number 24, SMU and Boston College. The Pop-Tarts Bowl, which a lot of people had Notre Dame heading to the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Number 18, NC State, and number 25, Kansas State. And the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Number 19, Oregon State, and number 16, Notre Dame.
Go Irish.
The Sun Bowl. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
So you want to hear something funny?
Of course. Please, I need to be
So Tony the Tiger, Frosted Flakes, right? So over the last few years, there's kind of an inside joke with some of the IU basketball recruits who come in with the frosted tip hair. We call them Frosted Flakes. That's code for like beware. So the fact that we're now in the Tony the Tiger, is it the Frosted Flakes Bowl? What is it?
It's the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
So what is Tony the Tiger? Is he still associated to Frosted Flakes?
Yeah, it's their sponsor.
That's too funny.
It's their sponsor. It's their sponsor. It's basically the Frosted Flakes Sun Bowl, but Tony the Tiger.
So the equivalent of Frosted Flakes is Fugazi. The Fugazi Frosted Flakes, Nunya,
Yes.
Tony the Tiger, take it out with the trash bowl.
Right, absolutely. I agree. Into the Gator Bowl, number 22, Clemson and Kentucky. The Music City Bowl, Snooze Fest, Auburn and Maryland. The ReliaQuest Bowl, Wisconsin, and number 13, LSU. LSU might put up 80 on Wisconsin. And lastly, the Citrus Bowl, number 17, Iowa, and somehow ranked is number 21, Tennessee. So a good slate of bowl games coming up here in mid-December. We're going to pick some of those games next Tuesday, the 12th, our first round of bowl picks with the Oregon State Notre Dame preview. And then December 19th, that Tuesday, is our bowl extravaganza. We'll be picking the majority of the bowl games as well as the college football playoff. And then, of course, the Notre Dame bowl game. But we have a game to pick right now, and that's America's game in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Lincoln Financial Field, December 9th, this upcoming Saturday, Army versus Navy at 3 p.m. on CBS.
So my pick.
Mm-hmm.
Navy underperformed. Army, they seem to, that win against Air Force really seemed to destroy Air Force and really lift the Black Knights. What are the records here? Can you say that? Did you say that?
Both are 5 and 6.
Both are 5 and 6. There's people that honestly believe this is the best college football game of the year. Hands down, bottom line, forget about it. The Shalom Bowl this year, huh?
I knew that was coming.
The Shalom Bowl. Who won last year? Do you know?
Oh gosh, I didn't.
Navy, I think, right? Did Navy win? Coach Ken's last. Navy pulled an upset, did they not?
I think they actually did.
They did.
Yep, they upset Navy.
Yeah.
Army. I'm sorry, they upset them.
Boy, who's got more demands on them right now, the Army or the Navy? Who do I want to? Army won last year.
Nice one, JR.
Okay, so that helped shove Coach Ken out the door. I wonder what Coach Ken's doing now.
Collecting.
Love Coach Ken.
Coach
I'm
him
gonna
up.
go Army here, though. I'm going Army. I'm going Black Knights. Hold on. Before I do this, can I get a tally? Can I get a total?
Yes, you
A
can.
weekly and a season total.
Weekly and a season total. Let's go down here to conference champions. JR last week went 7-3. He stands at 277-68. Last week, Logan went 4-6 with a total record of 266-79. And myself went 3-7 last week for a total record of 259-86. So Logan and I are hoping for a big time bowl extravaganza week. JR, you essentially have this one locked. You need something really bad. Like you need just a bunch of frickin' upsets to happen. And I have a feeling
I'm gonna go.
I have a feeling next week. I have a feeling next week, Logan, he picks second. He's going to pick against every single team that you pick, even if it's Notre Dame, Oregon State, or frickin'
Up the Beaver.
Texas A&M and Oklahoma State.
Stuff the Beaver. My guy said it best on there. Yeah, this is the only game we're picking this week.
Yes.
We're not going to. Are we gonna package this into the bowl games?
This is this week. This is going up today.
Okay, yeah, I'm going Army. Go ahead, take your Navy. Go ahead, Mitty.
Hold on, what's the line on this?
Minus 2.5.
What's the over under
for who?
20,
Army.
So it's either 26 or 29. Army's 2.5-point favorites.
What's the weather going to be? Because it's like starting to snow here right now.
Rain, snow, probably.
I'm going Army.
Give me Navy. Gonna get one done for the old Ken.
I will take the Black Knights of Army. They're just going to beat the brakes off of them.
I am going with Navy. That's not going to happen. They're going to beat the brakes off. I can't remember the last time this game ended in a blowout. It's going to be a low-scoring, boring game, but it's going to be exciting towards the end, obviously. Give me Navy to beat Army. Go Navy, beat Army. Honor, courage, and commitment. America's game in Philadelphia. Hey, this has been a fun episode. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Thank you to our 2.9K viewers who have viewed our emergency podcast. It really means a lot from all of us for you guys tuning in and interacting with us in the comments as well. So be sure to keep liking, subscribe, and keep watching if you like what you see. Next week, we are back to preview Oregon State and Notre Dame and the Tony the Tiger Who Cares Sun Bowl. And then the next Tuesday will be our bowl extravaganza. So until then, for JR, Logan, and Dylan, have a great week, everybody, and go Irish.
By Samauja, inside the 20, inside the 10, he's going in! Notre Dame has scored!
Go! You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal.
Notre Dame is relevant again.
The 20, the 10, 5-5 rocket touchdown.
Notre Dame is number one.
It's a game of who's going to flinch first. We know that it won't be Notre Dame.